everybody, it's Rebecca here at White Mermaids, and it's time for my June book haul. It's not as big as the last one, I promise. That one was just insane. It was insane. It was insane. This one is a lot more manageable and like realistic and still a little much for what I should have spent. But anyway, let's just get into what I bought. First up, I got sent Unraveling by the lovely Sara, whom I just adore. This is the second book in the Unblemished trilogy, and she sent this one to me, and I'm so excited to read it. It's just, it sounds so good, it looks so good, it's meh. Thank you, Sara, for sending this to me, and yeah! Next up is my book of the month, which is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and my cat actually got into it while I was in a bag where I was storing all of my new book purchases, and he ripped it like a jerk. So I'm gonna have to tape that back. But anyway, this one, I had a really hard time picking this month for my book of the month, but I ended up going with this one because it's like a Hollywood story, but it's like made up. It's not a real one, but it's this woman who, she's like a Hollywood heiress kind of thing, and she's like had 7 husbands, and it's like her life story, and there's like a weird twist in there with like why she's choosing this journalist to tell the story, but I don't know yet what that is because I haven't read it yet. But anyway, so this was the book that I picked up this month from Book of the Month, and I'm looking forward to reading it. Next I went to Second and Charles because I love this store. I can't get enough of it. It's amazing. If you have one in your area, you should go because it's cool. It's used books mostly. I got 9 books on this trip to Second and Charles, which was a lot, but I just finished watching Downton Abbey, like finally. I started watching it like years ago and then stopped because big things happened at the end of 3, and then I didn't like 4, and I was like, meh, I'm done with you. And then I was like, I want to rewatch it, and it took me a long time because I didn't want to watch the end of 3. But I finally did. I skipped that little bit. I just went to the next and I got through it and I loved it and it was great and I loved it and I was like, so big historical fiction kick kind of thing and a big like feminist kick. So a lot of these deal with that, and that's kind of where the inspiration came from. And 2 of them, or 3 of them I got because they were kind of recommended by Dan Stevens, whom again I really love. Like, I can't get enough. I'm kind of obsessed. So he was a judge for the Man Booker Prize a couple years ago, and he also has like mentioned books that he just finished reading, and this was years ago, but I'm just now picking them up because I'm late to the party. So the one that he recommended that he had read and really liked was Us by David Nicholls, and so I decided to pick it up. I am wary a little bit because I read One Day a few years ago and threw it across the room. So we'll see what happens, but I am interested to read it because I respect his opinion because he is a scholarly man and a very attractive one at that. So I picked up Us. The other 2 that I got because of Dan Stevens, shame on me, were Wolf Hall and Bring Up the Bodies by Hilary Mantel. They go together, so this is the first one, this is the second one. This one is the one that won the Man Booker Prize when he was a judge. So I was like, well, I gotta read it. But in order to make sense of it, I gotta read this one first. I'm assuming. So anyway, that's why I got them, because I am cheap and a terrible person for celebrity culture, because anyway, I'm moving on. I feel like he's very intelligent and I wanted to be inspired. Anyway, let's just move on because I'm embarrassing myself. I also picked up The New Yorker Stories by Beattie. I have never read anything by her before, but I am always looking for good short stories for creative writing and for English classes and whatnot to, you know, teach with. And she had a lot of praise, and I liked stories that are usually put in the New Yorker, and so I decided to pick it up. It was only $5, so can't beat that. I also picked up the Poisonwood Bible by Barbara Kingsolver. This one was actually taught by another teacher last year at school, and I never read it, so I figured I should probably do that. And it was there, and it was cheap, and so I picked it up. Speaking of books that I probably should have read in my life and have not, I have 2. I have Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf, and The Bluest by Toni Morrison. These are women writer classic books. Like, why have I not read these? I don't know. So I'm gonna read them because girl power, that's the Spice Girls term, is girl power. So, and then on to my Downton Abbey like inspired purchases. I picked up Empty Mansions by Bill Dedman and Parle Clark Newell Jr. To read the back for you, it's an enthralling mystery of wealth and loss and a secretive heiress named Huguette Clark Though she owned palatial homes in California, New York, and Connecticut, why had she lived for 20 years in a simple hospital room despite being in excellent health? So it investigates all of that. Doesn't really go with Downton Abbey, but I felt like it did. So big houses, right? Big houses. And the one that was truly inspired by Downton Abbey was The American Heiress by Daisy Goodwin, which is very much like Cora from the story. So I'm very excited to read it. And finally, I have 2 more books to show you, and I got these from Amazon, and basically I got them because I'm going to Japan, so I needed to brush up on things and figure out what I'm doing there. So I bought Discover Japan by Lonely Planet, which basically just tells you what you should do and where you should go. And then I bought Lonely Planet's Japanese phrasebook and dictionary. I've learned a little bit of Japanese, and by little bit I mean minuscule. Like konnichiwa is almost the extent of what I can say. Just kidding, there's a couple other things I can say. I can read some of the characters too. Cool stuff. But I failed at that, so I bought this because there's certain things that you need to know on the go, and it would be nice to have it when I'm trying to look for like a certain word. So rather than my phone, I like to have books. So anyway, I bought these because I'm going to Japan in like a week, and I'm really excited about it. So anyway, that's why I bought these. Oh, that's it. That's all I bought. That's it. That's the book haul right there. No more. No giant piles of books at the floor or anything. That's it. I'm really excited about reading all of these books because they all sound very exciting, and they're like awesome. Let me know what you've bought this month, what your favorite exciting new purchase is, and if you've read any of these, what I should be expecting. Good things? Bad things? I don't know. Thanks for watching. That's it for me today. I'll see you next time.